I'm Bob Hallmark in Tyler today in Bergfeld Park, and this is Lucky. Very cute. Baby raccoon. Very appropriate name, by the way. Now, as cute as this animal is, I want you to remember, don't have any misgivings. When it grows up, it is still going to be a wild animal, and that's what we're talking about today. Ordinary citizens trying to care for abandoned or injured animals. Not a good idea. And to talk a little bit about this, we're joined now by Towana Graham. And
Yes.
Towana, you actually run a rehab operation for animals, is that right?
Yes, I do. I run the 3 R's, Mimi's Critters. We've been doing this for several years. We take raccoons, possums, we've had bobcats, which we get them all ready to release back to the wild.
Okay. Now, Lucky is one of the animals that you're caring for right now. And this is one of the things that we're talking about today is ordinary citizens trying. I know that they have good intentions. However, there are problems with things like this. You've seen this in your experience as well.
Yes, I've gotten phone calls to go and pick up raccoons that people have tried to make pets, that they've bit them or they've attacked them. They're not getting along with their family, they're not getting along with their animals, so now they're ready to let them go. By that time, they've already made them to a point to where they're very lovable. You can pick them up, hold them, and that's not the good thing. That's not a good thing at all.
Now, it's obviously hard to resist. Look at that little face. It's very hard to resist these little bandits because they are adorable, like puppies and kittens. People will ogle over them. And especially seeing one that they feel might be abandoned, they feel compelled to actually try to take care for them. But it is not that simple. First of all, you say most people don't know how to take care of a wild animal.
Exactly. They don't realize that they do carry diseases. I've picked up babies that have been fed whole milk, cow's milk. It's just not good for them. They've tried to feed them soft food, canned food for cats, and it'll kill them. It'll kill them.
Not to mention the fact that being a wild animal and bringing it into your home, you're not only subjecting that animal to maybe your inexperience, but also the diseases that they carry as well.
Yes, some of the diseases that they carry actually can cause heart problems. It can cause things like brain issues, blindness. If a child touches the feces that they leave behind and a child accidentally touches it, it can cause a child to lose their eyesight.
Now, what is your recommendation to people when they find an animal like this? And we've seen how this happens sometimes. Spring is regeneration time. It's the time when a lot of these babies are born. They see an animal and feel like it is abandoned or whatever, and it's really not.
They really need to leave them alone. Give them time for mama to come back and get them and take them back with them, because she will come and get them. After 24 hours, if you go back and they're not there, then obviously we need to pick them up. But most of the time, mama does come and get them and take them back into their nest.
Which is another reason why I know, some people might say this sounds kind of cruel, that when you see one of these animals, a fawn or baby raccoons, possums, things like that, they feel compelled to pick them up, and that's not a good idea, because 9 times out of 10 they're not abandoned. Yeah,
that's just like little fawns. Mama's going to come back. She beds them down, and a lot of times she does that because she knows those babies can't keep up with her. So if something is chasing her, babies are not going to be able to get away from it. So she beds them down, and then she goes and eats and does what she needs to do. Mama raccoons will come after you. If you're messing around their tree and you're trying to pick that baby up, if Mama raccoon is there, she will attack you.
And that's one of the things that we did want to mention here is we said at the outset, wild animal, which means they can be very territorial, they can be very protective as well.
Yes, very much so.
Particularly raccoons, who have a myriad of weapons to use against you.
Yes, their teeth and claws will absolutely shred you. They're very sharp, just like razors. Even at this age, their claws are already developed to where they can hurt and scratch you with them. And the bigger they get, the bigger their claws get. It's against the law to own them, but I've spoke to my game warden, and he says that there are permits that people can get, but he highly suggests not to because of all the dangers and things they can bring to you.
And as you can hear, you know, they make this wonderful little chirping sound that raccoon babies make. This one is, you say, about 3 weeks old right here.
About 3 weeks old.
And the kind of maintenance that is required with animals like these is fairly regular. You say about every 3 hours.
Every 3 to 4 hours, this one gets fed around the clock. Around the clock. They have to have that food. If not, they become very dehydrated, and it makes their bones, you know, there's a disease that's called MBD. It's metabolic bone disease, and it can actually cause their little bones to get distorted, and then you have a problem with you're not going to be able to release them after not fed properly. So.
Okay. So across the board, whether it's mammal, reptile, birds, whatever, it's just not advisable to try to take this on your own.
Right. I worked under, or subbed under rather, Tanya Thibodeau, and I had to do that for 2 years before I could actually apply for my permit. And that's the requirement. You have to work under a rehabber that is permitted in the state of Texas in order to get your permit.
All right. And hopefully Lucky will go on to live a very long life in the wild.
Yes.
You do actually rehabilitate them and release them.
Yes. We do not keep them. We get them ready to go. They're taught how to be aggressive. They're taught how to fish, how to dig for worms and stuff, how to climb trees. And then once we know that they're good at that, and we know that they just soon get us, then to let us come in the cage with them, we know it's time for them to go.
Okay. All right. So hopefully Lucky will have a long, happy life out in the wild out there.
So we sure hope so.
Okay. All right, Towana. Thank you. And we'll have more on this story tonight on KLTV 7 News for KLTV WebXtra. I'm Bob Hallmark.